Hey everyone, it's Ryan Zomarodi, co-founder of realestateskills.com. And today I'm here with a very special member of the Pro Wholesaler VIP program. He's been in the program for just about 4 years time, and he's had some incredible updates that he's shared recently. So his name's Michael Yu. He's
Hello,
based out of the
hello.
Rockwall, Texas market, just outside of Dallas. And as you know, that market's booming. So Mike, I'm really excited to have you on today to share more about your transformation, since joining the program about 4 years ago, and just let us know how things have transpired ever since. So, first off, how you doing today,
I
Mike?
am doing well. I am doing well. And transform is a good word because that I did do completely night and day from where I started at to where I'm at right now. And I am just happy to be here. Thank you so much, Mr. Ryan, for the invite. And yeah, let's get to it.
Absolutely. My pleasure, my man. So we could start off, tell us a little bit about kind of what you're doing, before getting started in real estate. What was your prior career? What were you doing before joining the program?
Yes. So before joining the program, I didn't have any really any real estate knowledge. My father, he migrated to the U.S. from Nigeria, so we weren't strangers to the whole concept of hard work. I seen him and my mom, work 2 3 jobs at certain times of their lives just to make ends meet. So fast forward to answer your question, what I was doing, I started off in high school. My first job was like working at a t-shirt warehouse, doing screen press, folding up t-shirts, putting them in boxes. Then I, fast food, kind of like everybody else. And then I migrated over to customer service for a majority of my, 9 to 5 career, if you would say. So I wasn't a stranger to getting on the phones and talking to people. But I did a little customer service prior to some security work. And for a very, very, very brief period there, I did roofing. I actually would, got on roofs and assessed for hail damage and helped homeowners file their insurance claims. That was fun times. So that was my background before joining the real estate, the pro wholesaler real estate community. I had no
Yeah.
knowledge prior to joining, really.
Yeah, totally, man. I'm sure with where your father came from Nigeria, being an immigrant.
Yes.
I can speak from experience. My parents being immigrants, like that. That's such a huge driver of just understanding the opportunities we have in this country is very unique, and it's pretty amazing. So I'm sure that that's probably something that fuels you, and really
Oh
gives you
yes.
that drive to take advantage of the opportunities in real estate here in
Oh
particular.
yes.
So that's
Absolutely.
awesome, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So it sounds like you had some exposure, obviously customer service, like you said,
Yes.
different client facing jobs, and then even on the roofing side of things. So probably you'd thought about real estate to
Yes.
some degree,
Yes.
being on top of houses and
Right.
kind of being in the field, if you will. So I mean, what kind of struggles were you having, in life and kind of in business, in your
Yes.
work, your career, that kind of drew you to get into thinking about the investing side of things?
So the struggles that I was having is just the feeling of spinning my wheels, kind of like being on the merry-go-round, knowing I want to do something, I need to do something, but still going in circles, and breaking old habits, forming the new habits. Those were my struggles, and not really having full control over my life and feeling like, even my time, I wasn't in control of my time. I was on somebody else's time. I had to, clock in at a certain time or, be somewhere, at a certain time and not really having control. So those were my struggles and just trying to figure it all out. And then on top of that, um, I was, we were a young family. So my oldest, I have 7 year olds. And as you mentioned, I've been in the program for, going on 4 years. So I have twin boys, they're 7. And then I have a fresh 4 year old and then a fresh 2 year old. So my whole journey while being in this program and before, we were a new family, a young family. So that is in itself is a whole life changing thing. But that's what I was going through. Like, hey, like man, something has to change. Like I got these kiddos now. It's not just myself. So my next move has to be my best move.
100%, man. Yeah, it's when you're working for the man, when you got a 9 to 5 and there's not a whole lot of control of your time, you got a growing family, you want to provide for them, but also spend time with them,
Yeah.
right? It's the money's one part, but it's also the being there and
Yes.
having that flexibility, not always having to report to somebody else. So just like that constant daily, struggle of trying to be there and show up as a father, as a husband, but also you gotta put food on the table at the same time
Yes,
and,
sir.
and make your ends meet. So I mean, why did you ultimately join the program? How did you ultimately come to the conclusion that this was the thing to do? And like, what was your kind of big motivation to take action when you did?
Well, first I'll say Mr. Alex Martinez is very convincing. I started seeing his ads, repeatedly. In hindsight, 2020, he's pretty good with the ads and the redirecting. But I seen his ads over and over, and he just made a lot of sense. Because I would go to the real estate seminars where you meet up at the hotel lobby and they sell you the dream, and then at the end, they're signing you up. They're asking for like 50,000, 30,000 K. I went to those, and Alex, he just stood out. And, I just weighed out my current situation where I was at and where I wanted to get to. And, you guys just seem like that bridge. And definitely hindsight 2020, I'm so glad that I ended up crossing the bridge, but it was one of the best decisions that I could have made for sure.
Totally, man. Yeah. So it sounds like you're kind of in the market, even before, seeing some of our advertisements, our marketing that we put out there for the
Yes.
world to see. So you're already kind of like looking at options. You're already exploring the world of real estate education. And then ultimately, something drove you to go with us. Something made sense, something clicked. And ultimately, you made the decision to join the program, which we're very, very obviously very excited about. Um, was there anything that like we did to help you take that action? Because it sounds like again you were kind of shopping around, you're going to these seminars, you're making connections, and something kind of pushed you over that ledge to take the leap and invest in the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I have a phrase for it, of course, being in the program, but Alex Martinez describes it very well. It was just wearing that failure suit and just the excuses. Once I got away from that and then I changed my mentality, that was huge. Just the mentality alone. And I know people say it all the time, but that was very, very key into getting started and to taking action for sure. And yeah, again, it was just a great decision. And when I switched up my habits and my way of thinking, it changed everything for sure.
Totally, man. Yeah, mindset is such a big part of being in business, being an entrepreneur. It's a big journey, and
Yes.
so especially when you're starting out,
Yes.
a lot of people these days want something handed to them, but in reality, you got to work for it. You got to realize that you're starting from scratch
Yeah.
when you're getting into business and entrepreneurship. So it's very important to have that mindset, like you mentioned.
Yes. Absolutely. The week one, that a lot of golden nuggets. You know, again, just a very life changing golden nuggets in there for sure. I would agree with that.
Awesome, man. What would you think? Or sorry, what held you back from taking action sooner in real estate? Was there anything that was kind of keeping you from getting going before you did?
I would definitely say just again at that time what I perceived as costs was preventing me, but changed my way of thinking. Instead of looking at it as how much is this going to cost, like look at it as how much is this investment going to bring me back? Like how much am I going to get on this investment? And again, you'll hear me say it throughout this interview. It's been worth every single penny. There's been a lot of instances, a lot of things that come up, and I'm like, yes, Alex thoroughly prepared me for this, or yeah, oh yeah, they mentioned this in the community. It's just changing my mindset to like, hey, how much is this going to cost to what is this going to bring me in return? Like how much, if I invest in this, what are the benefits from this investment? So just that mind shift alone was huge.
Oh, absolutely. So what about the program would you say helped you the most? Once you made that investment, you overcame, you know, putting up some dough to actually get access to the program, the community, the
Right.
live coaching. Was there anything in particular that really helped you the most on this journey?
I would have to say the community, um, the weekly calls, not only you guys, but people in the community are always willing to help. You know, they're not looking just to take, but everybody's contributing. Um, if you need help, everybody's willing to help you with open arms. So I would say being a newbie and not really knowing anything and trying to learn the ropes and understand the process, that was huge because uh, that's not always the case, at least from my experience. So that was very, very heartwarming and, you know, awesome to see. It was really, really awesome community for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, our community is somewhere where it's a safe, welcoming environment. You can ask questions really at any time of the day.
Right.
There's people here waiting to help you respond, help you with your deals. So glad you're able to, get value from it.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Absolutely.
Um, so, let's talk about kind of where you are now, ever since getting access to things, like I said, we like to mention, we'd consider you a legacy client, being in the
Awesome.
program for 3-4 years now at this point. Um, what are you up to now these days, Mike?
Yes. So I been everything I've learned from being a part of the real estate skills and pro wholesaler family that has afforded me opportunity to work with some of the top wholesaling companies. I've been in numerous acquisition positions, and I made other people a lot of money. So what's in the cards for me is finally going back to the drawing board and take not skipping any steps, but really building my own family business, picking up where I left off. Now that the proof is in the pudding. Like I've actually seen all the the teachings work in real time. I know they work. Alex actually teaches things that some of the larger wholesale companies that I've worked with that are well known don't do. I can't mention any names due to NDAs, but it's now time for me to make a bulk of that share and create my own family business and have something that I can pass down to my kiddos and assets. That will outlive me for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You mentioned you at some point got licensed and
Yes.
you're kind of looking at new strategies at this point.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So another awesome update and result is I did go on to get my real estate sales license. And again, majority of everything that I've learned, I just had a really good, solid foundation because there was a lot of stuff that I've learned being a part of this family, this community and program that helped me, when I was getting my, testing to get my license. So thank you guys. But I did end up getting my real estate sales license here in Texas. Not only for my real estate business, but I can help everybody else out in the community. And that opened doors to real estate development. Real estate development. So there's a few builders down here that I'll be partnering up with, and I'm just excited and anxious to see what the future holds. And excited to do big things. My son, one of the twins, he's 7, but he's already I'm claiming it. He's probably going to be like a future engineer. He loves to go on job sites with me. He loves building. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. But that's what the future holds for me. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Way to be a role model for your kids and, show them that, you're taking your future in your own hands, your career in your own hands, you're learning,
Yes,
you're expanding your skill set and, you're making it happen. So that's really
absolutely.
awesome. And, you're creating a more abundant future for your family, which is really one of the great things about real estate.
Yes,
And I think it's really important, especially these days. I think getting your license is a great idea, with things kind of adjusting around, buyer's commissions.
right.
And it's just, I think it's just a great move in general,
Yes,
as you're doing acquisitions and as you're getting into investments. Like it never hurts, it's not a prerequisite to invest. I know plenty of investors that don't have their
right.
license, but it's always a good thing. So I think it just shows your commitment to real estate and learning and just trying to do more and more with this career.
Yes, sir.
So kudos, man.
Thank you.
Is there any like one thing that you'd say was like the best thing since joining the program?
One thing, just honestly, just the lifelong, you know, lifelong resources, lifelong, not to sound cheesy, but friendships. Like I've actually met up with people here locally, but just the lifelong partnerships and that network. You really can't. That's priceless. Like the people, because you know that they're going to be serious. If they're in this community, you know they're going to be somewhat serious. So just those connections that you're going to have, those lasting connections, because you never know how you can bring value to somebody's business, and how somebody can bring value to your business. So I would have to say definitely that strong network for sure.
Definitely, yeah. It's I do recall. I think there was a meetup in Texas.
Yeah.
Were you like a participant in one of those meetups from the Pro Wholesaler community?
Yeah, yes, we all met up in Grapevine, and it was phenomenal. We had people, that were in town from, out of state, even joined us. So it was awesome. Yes, great experience.
Yeah, that's so cool. We're mostly a virtual environment, but at the end of the day, we're real people
Yeah.
in real estate markets, with real ambition. So, love to hear that you guys, took the initiative and got together. It's pretty special. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
So, going through the program, from where you were before and ultimately kind of learning everything, and now you're actually taking action in the real world. I mean, is it easier than you thought it was going to be? I mean, how does it kind of stack up to what your mindset kind of like going into the industry? If you can kind of think, a few years back, how does it kind of shape up from what your expectations were before taking the leap?
Good question. So I would say, looking back, it wasn't an easy journey in the sense that change can sometimes be hard. We don't want to get out of our comfort zone sometimes, or change certain habits. But again, after I went through that week one, the mindset changed, and understood what the failure suit was, and just stayed away from that. That made things easier, because how I perceive things and my outlook on things changed, and it just really opened up the door to more opportunity. It attracted the right people that I needed to attract in my life, and it made a world of a difference. So once I actually started doing the work, stop making excuses, actually go through the modules, take notes, do my discovery calls, actually go out and inspect properties and just network. Once I actually started doing the work, that made it easy and fun and enjoyable. And at this point, it's kind of addicting once you really get into it. This is really something I'm passionate about, and I actually have fun doing it. So, I'm very glad that I came across you guys first, and I had the foundation that I had, for sure. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm not.
Absolutely.
This is not paid advertisement, so thank you guys.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, Mike. Real estate's fun. It's exciting. Really, the sky's the limit.
Yes.
And you can make the business that you want to make. You can make it a very large, massive company, or you can create a smaller kind of lifestyle business that can just support, help pay the bills, help you live the life you want to live. So
Yes, sir.
it's cool. You're kind of taking it at your own pace. You're methodical with what you're doing, and you're thinking long term too, which is something that I think is really important in real estate. The biggest gains come from the long term and being in the market for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And so it's great to hear that you've really captured that longer term perspective.
Absolutely.
And not really looking at it just like a get in, get out kind of thing.
Right.
So that's what I love to see, that you're still involved in the community, after this many years, like you're still an active member. And yeah, I love just kind of like brainstorming with you. I've looked at some of the contracts that you've come across these days.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about a joint venture agreement, a little while back.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's just kind of the fun, the nerdy side of real estate. We can really get into the weeds with the fine details,
Yeah.
but it's fun to do it with a community with other people who are passionate too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. So with all this, it sounds like you have, some more freedom, you have more flexibility in your schedule. The work is a little bit
Yes.
more fun and enjoyable. What does that ultimately mean to you? Why is that important at the end of the day?
Oh man, it means everything. It means everything to me. Again, because I'm a family man. One thing that I'm big on is legacy. So I'm able to spend way more time with my kiddos now. Me and my wife, we homeschool. We're able to take field trips with the kiddos and actually do some hands-on activities, and that in itself is just priceless. Because I didn't have that growing up. My parents were working, and I was on the bus headed to public school. So it's just good to have that experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Just that whole family aspect of us being able to travel more and get out of our box, get out of our comfort zone. So
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's truly priceless,
yeah,
especially with, there's only one time where your kids are a certain age, and, just to have that flexibility to do those trips and, to be there is pretty amazing.
yes, sir.
So can definitely see that. Um, and so, love to talk about what's next for Mike, what's ultimately the long-term goal, or, maybe even just what's next on the to-do list in real estate.
Yes, so definitely next is getting my own real estate company established, my own brand established, getting into real estate development. And as you mentioned, I'm still here in the community, networking. So anybody, that I come across with that is needing assistance or that wants to partner up, I'm definitely open to doing so. But uh, that's definitely what's next. And also, just I see beaches and islands and margaritas in my near future as well. Just taking that family vacation where the mommy and daddy get a chance to unwind as well. So
Absolutely, my man. Yeah, that's totally possible. Sounds like you've come a long way. You've, put yourself in positions to, help others reach their goals with
yeah,
the skill sets that you've learned,
yes,
doing, playing in that acquisitions role, which is really the most valuable part in all of real estate,
yes,
where you can create opportunities, you're creating deals. And, they say that the way to get what you want in life is to help other people get what they want in
bingo.
life.
There
So,
you go.
sounds like you've been able to do that. And now it's time to really, bring it home, get your own thing going and start to build property, start to acquire and really build that legacy wealth that you're looking to
Yes,
create.
sir.
So sounds like you're just really getting going, and it's exciting because, with
Oh yeah.
everything you learned, you're in the best place that you possibly can
Oh yeah.
be to do that. So that's really exciting, Mike.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. And then any just last words on any advice for people who are looking to get started in real estate and consider joining the Pro Wholesaler program?
Yes. Don't second guess. Just get started, and get started sooner than later. And you'll thank me later. Just don't second guess it. Get started sooner than later.
Absolutely. I think that's great advice.
Yes.
Like I said, time is the most important part of the equation. So, the sooner you get in, the more you'll be able to reap the rewards.
Yes.
So that's great words.
Thank you.
Well, Michael, hey, appreciate you, man. I know you're a busy dude these days. It's been a pleasure working with you and seeing you grow in the community and in the program. Keep us in the loop with everything you're working on, with the new projects, the new developments.
Yes.
We're certainly very interested in those. You're in a great market. So
Yes.
I look forward to continuing to be a resource for you and seeing you in your next phase of growth here. So
Awesome. Thank
again,
you, sir.
appreciate you hopping on today. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on today, my
Yes.
man.
Hey, and don't forget to send my shirt. Tell Alex I need an extra large. Real estate skills.
Absolutely. Yep. You got it, my man. Yeah, we'll get that over to you. Again, appreciate you for being a part of the community. For anybody else who's looking to get involved with the Real Estate Skills Pro Wholesaler program, just go to realestateskills.com to learn more.